In this podcast, I wanted to cover the extra credit component for the Week 1 project. This is called the Proxy rig. Now the Proxy rig is literally having cut up geometry for each area of the character. I'm going to show you this. I have it hidden right now. I have my original character. I'm going to hide this, Control H. And I'm going to bring in some proxy geometry in. And you can see when I select a control like the head and I rotate it, our geometry moves with our character. Now, if you'll notice, it's just cut. It's like a puppet. So why are we doing this? What's the purpose of this? This system to build is very, very fast. It takes a quarter of the time, not even a quarter of the time, much less than that, than doing the final bind on the character. So this is something we do really quick, pass off the character for the animator to animate while I'm completing the bind. It's also very low computation. So when I actually have a full high-res skinned character, it can slow the scene down pretty drastically, especially if it's a really, really, really high-res character. This allows us to do stand-in for the animator to pose the character, put them in position, and then they can switch on from the proxy rig to the bound version and see, do the play blast with the high-res one, or send it to the render farm and do it for the high-res one. So in this case, how I would start this off with is I'm going to hide my proxy geometry. I'm going to Control H, and I'm going to bring back my body geometry. We're still going to keep our body geometry, but what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. We hit Command D, and this is going to be our starting point. We're literally going to cut this guy up. Now, so I don't accidentally select the other geometry, the geometry that's our base, I'll hide these, hit Control H. So I'm only working on this. And then the next set of podcasts will go over how to cut up and different techniques for cutting up geometry and whatnot. But we want to make sure we do not accidentally cut the original version of the character. So finally, I want to bring back, I'm going to hide this guy again, and I want to show you the naming convention for the proxy geometry. So as we can see, let me bring this down here like that. You can see it says center neck 1 proxy. So there's our naming convention. All this is reflecting the binding joints underneath it. So this is center neck 1 bind, and underneath it, it's the same thing but proxy. So if it has a binding joint, it needs a cut for it because it's supposed to represent the actual joints moving. That's pretty much the overview for the proxy extra credit.